5. Welcome to Jordanstown Sports Village for this Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup clash between Ulster University and UCD. It is knockout football. That said, you used to that, having had to come through the back door. UCD have played 1-2 and 1-1. They've lost one as well. They were beaten by the University of Galway. That's the rebranded NUIG Galway. They had a good win against MTU Cork. So both of these teams have had mixed results coming to this stage of the competition. They both have 1 win and 1 defeat. But we know one thing for certain, Brendan Devaney, they can't afford any more defeats. It's win or bust tonight.
Yeah, I suppose it'll add that element to it and probably bring the best out of them, because there's no doubt that it's star-studded Jordanstown here, as you say, losing the Queens the first day out and 8 points down at half time to Letterkenny colleagues in the last round, and you're really thinking they're staring defeat in the face. But you know, they rallied, they came back brilliantly, and they overturned ATU in that match 2-11. They won 13 in the end, and you know, Andrew Gilmore, Conor Cush were to the fore of that there, with 1-4 and 1-5 between the two of them, really pushing on the Jordanstown side. So listen, I think there's a lot more to come in this team. As a UCD coming in this game, both teams now, you know, with 1 defeat, you would think just with the home venue and the level of player that Jordanstown have, they might have enough to get across the line. But really, it's a very, very hard game to call at this point, because, as I say, I don't think we've seen the best of Jordanstown so far in this competition.
Kevin Falloon is our referee. We are a bit late starting. It was supposed to start at 7, but the officials were a little bit delayed in getting here, so we're going ahead but later than advertised. They're faultless in that, by the way. Traffic absolutely terrible around Belfast today. The rain is beginning to fall. The pitch is as good as it can be expected to be at this time of year. It's had a lot of football played on it. Antrim train here, and as well as the Sigerson Cup game, there's been an awful lot of other competitions played on this pitch as well, so it's actually holding up really well, Brendan.
Yeah, the pitch looks good. You know, there's been a few issues in the competition with postponements, particularly with that ATU Jordanstown last game. It actually was postponed 3 times before they finally got it played in Ballinderry last week. So listen, the weather seems to have turned again in the pitch. You know, it's a tight cut pitch here, so I think it'll still suit the forwards. You'll still get the hop off the ball, and conditions, listen, the wind doesn't seem too bad here, although the rain's starting to come down a bit. And of course, as we're saying there, free kicks, you know, with Gilmore and Cush on one side, you have, you know, Greg and Garland on the other side, both, you know, left and right footed free takers, and either team, and I suppose their contribution here tonight will be huge in this game, because we're basically seeing every GA team actually play in a similar fashion all over the country. You know, possession is key. You know, players flood back in and try and clog up the 145, and then try and break in the opposition 45 and try and create a scoring chance, or work a free, or whatever it is. So, you know, even though Sigerson, I suppose, we often look at it a wee bit like the National League in many ways, can be a wee bit more open at times. When it comes to knockout, you think that, you know, both teams will certainly want to have defence right first and attack from that platform, and I expect that's what we'll see here this evening.
We have a couple of changes on the UCD team. We may have changes on the Ulster University team as well. We're not sure yet. We didn't receive those until late. For UCD, let's run through their changes. Jonathan Lynham, a Charlton Cup winner with Westmeath, replaces Senan Forker, a young and up-and-coming Dublin footballer who has been very impressive for Castleknock and for Dublin at underage levels in the last couple of years. At the back, unfortunately, James Morgan, the Longford inter-county player, is out due to a shoulder injury. It's a very hard term to say. He's been replaced by Monaghan's Dara McAlarney, another man who's making his way in inter-county football. He's had a very impressive underage career with Monaghan. Sean Coffey is in, wearing number 26. He's from County Meath. And Paul Tolan from Naomh Barrogue, a really good scorer. He helped Naomh Barrogue win an intermediate championship in Dublin this season. So those players all in for UCD. For Ulster University, well, I was going to say, Brendan, have to make it up as we go along. Not exactly that, but certainly we'll have to react to the changes we see. Rory Slane of Carrickmore is definitely in. He is definitely in for Ulster University. Ulster University in the white jerseys, UCD in the grey, as we put it. It's not ideal for colourblind people having to spot those differences. Sean Coffey wearing the number 26, Ulster University, getting ready to try and overcome UCD, looking for 2 victories in a row. Beat ATU Donegal under Maxi Curran a couple of days ago in Ballinderry, home of the famous Conleith Gilligan, who was on commentary with us last week for Queen's and DCU. And it actually looks like Ulster University, Jordanstown as they would formerly have been known, are unchanged. Was that a foul? The referee says no. Bending his back to try and get it was Carl Gallagher from Monaghan. UCD have the possession. It's Buckley from Kerry. Good ball down the line, looking for Rutledge, a Mayo man. But they run out of room, and it is a line ball.
Positive so far, with players being left in the opposition forward line, and Johnson, as you say, both teams looking to up with 3 up front gives you a platform for attack and doesn't clog up the opposition defence too much.
Paul Falloon, by the way, is our referee, and it's a goal. Well, it was a real scramble, but it's gone in, and it's a great start for UCD.
Yes, that was Dara Craig. We talked about his prowess in front of goals and from frees so far for UCD, and high ball in there wasn't dealt at the back by the opposition goalkeeper, and it looked like it maybe crossed the line in the first attempt, but Dara Craig followed it up and put the ball in the back of the net to make no mistake, and a cracking start for them.
Dara Craig from Roscommon. As UU go on the attack, it is McGill from the Burning County Down. The rain is coming in on top of us here as UCD get the line ball. UCD under John Tivley, Ger Brennan involved there as well. Ulster University under Barry Dillon and Paul Rouse. I've been practicing all day to not say Jordanstown, and every time I want to reference them I keep thinking Jordanstown. It is the Jordanstown Sports Village, but there are no longer students here. All the Ulster University students are now based in the Belfast campus. This is strictly the Sports Village, and a fine facility it is. And here comes Ryan Jones from Tyrone. Bottled up by Smith, they win the free in.
Yeah, Derek Canavan was standing over there, but he's opted to leave that ball to Andrew Gilmore, who's been going well this season for so far. Their left-footed free taker. Not a bad one for your first paddle of night here. Nice angle for number 13 to get Jordanstown off the mark.
Andrew Gilmore, an Ulster under-20 winner with Down, doesn't quite catch that one right. Obviously part of Conor Laverty's plans as well now. There is a bit of a breeze out there, but still I think a player of that quality will be disappointed with that effort.
Yeah, sometimes that opening free, you can maybe try and you overthink it a wee bit, and he certainly looked like someone was trying to hit it out to the left and curl it in, but he got no curl at all in it. And as the kick out comes out, we have goalkeepers, we have everyone contesting it.
Possession won by Ulster University into the hands of Brian Cox. I beg your pardon, it's Josh Largo Ellis of Fermanagh. A real up and comer. Ryan Jones, McCarran has options. McColgan in behind. Now McColgan is behind him and now beside him. McCarran, good take. Coming all the way up from full back is Ryan McGill, the captain, but he was well covered. Getting over to him was Brian Cox of Sligo. Ben McCarran left it off to Convery, a relative local playing for Antrim. McGill. UCD with absolutely everyone behind the ball. They're going to be hard to break down. McCarran into the hands of McGill. UU trying to get the movement going a bit quicker. That's a boomer of an effort. And an excellent score. Great stuff from Carl Gallagher of Monaghan. We mentioned him before the game, and now you know why.
That's how you get around the blanket defence. Sashi and Carl Gallagher, as we said, listen, you were leaving up 3 men and I suppose trying to have that platform for attack inside, and they have 3 lethal players there, and why not keep them up a pitch? But certainly UCD dropping everybody back in. How do you get around it? You give it to someone like Carl Gallagher, who got underneath the ball from 40 yards and a driving shot at the top of his foot over the bar to get UU off the mark.
Turning and twisting is Dara Craig, the goal scorer, recycles it out to Ronan Buckley. Buckley, who made a championship appearance for Kerry against Cork in 2020. It is a day that most Kerry people would rather forget. Craig spilled it, got it back again. Good pass to Garland. A former player of the year in this competition, Garland, when he was with DCU, won this competition as well. It's set up for Kennedy, and Kennedy hits it wide. Kennedy of Ballyboden St Enda's, a Leinster Championship winner, part of the team that was beaten by Kilcoon in an All-Ireland semi-final a couple of years ago. Slipped through his hands. Breaking ball, won brilliantly. Paddy O'Keefe of Wicklow. Oisin McConville now in charge of the Garden County. Kennedy down the wing, he's got speed. And as we can see, he doesn't mind having a crack as well. Ronan Buckley. Buckley with a defence splitter, but that was really well read by Ryan McGill, the captain. And recycled back to Oran Lynch of Derry, an Ulster Championship winner. But he wants an Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup with University of Ulster as well. A McKenna Cup winner as well. They won it for the first time since, I think, 2008 last weekend, Derry.
The Derry revolution continues. You better watch.
Jones trying to slalom through. Just too many bodies for him to beat, but Ulster University don't give up on it. That's a delicious pass to McGill. And McGill puts it over. Very good pass. An even better finish.
Yeah, great score from McGill. Good patience there from UU. They're going to have to be, because the difference in the two teams is pretty obvious there. Listen, Ryan McGill, their full back, and Ronan McCaffrey seem to be 2 men that are going on the sweep. They aren't leaving their men. The rest of the team aren't leaving their men and dropping into holes. They are just looking to sweep up around there and break from it, and they're much more attack minded than UCD, and that has profited in the last 2 scores. You've seen 2 brilliant scores from them. They needed a goal to 2 points.
Attacking is the cornerback Quinn. Good hands. Gilmore sets it up. Canavan brought down in the square, and it is a penalty. Well, Dara Canavan, it's kind of the family thing, isn't it? They give backs real trouble.
Yeah, the nippiness of them, you just see the fella's movements in them there, right? Dara coming through. But again, you just look at the positive element that UU, they want to get on the ball, they want to use it, they want to try and create something at pace rather than sit in and be a slow counter-attacking team that's building up the pitch, and that might have cost them in the last couple of games at times, but right now it's reaping dividends in this match.
Here's Conor Cush. Great finish. Ulster University win the penalty through Dara Canavan and score it through Conor Cush. 2 Tyrone men combining.
2 Tyrone men with 2 famous fouls, of course, and Cush there keeping his cool. He made that look so simple. The keeper going the wrong way. He kept the shot low and hard, and that's a massive swing in this game now. A goal back, and it's nothing less than you have deserved so far in this game.
Are you suggesting that Canavan and Cush are Nepo babies? They make that Nepo baby list.
They have good DNA, that's all I know.
Here's Cush. Son of Adrian Cush, by the way, who won an All-Ireland under-21 with Tyrone in 1991. That's a really great take by McCarran. McCarran trying to skin Brian Cox. That's not easy to do. It's a free in. Ulster University are on top here, Brendan. Yeah,
certainly. I'd say they caught a poor kick out that time from O'Rourke and their goals. You know, if you're going to try and clip a half-back or someone in that zone, you got to make sure it counts, because as we see in the modern game, no matter what system you play, turnover ball is so dangerous, and UCD were immediately in the back foot, and a panic will come in the defence, and as I say, a free is given away, and another simple tap over score for Andrew Gilmore there. Yeah, simple free from him. As you say, the last one I thought was fairly straightforward. That one couldn't have been easier. It was from just outside the 13, so that's an important score for him.
Well, I think it's safe to say that the surprise of the opening fixtures was Queen's beating Ulster University. They deserved it on the night, but Ulster University seem like they've learned their lesson from that game, and indeed their slow start against ATU Donegal. I was reading in the Irish News today, Conor Cush saying, look, we need to start well. We can't just rely on turning it on midway through the game, because if we do that, then UCD could beat us.
Yeah, and listen, that certainly is the case, and you can probably see that in opening exchanges in this game. Outside of the good goal, you can see that they've dominated this game and they've been much the better side, and you really think that message must have come through. And of course you're gathering players from so many different areas together, you know. Of course, brilliant players individually, and many of them already in county squads and top players for the clubs, but you got to bring them together and get them playing a system that suits the team that it is. So I suppose you can forgive teams sometimes for having that bit of a slow start, or as you say, the last day out against ATU having a poor first half. But I think the reality is, how do you turn that around? Can you fix it? And certainly at half time, between the management and the players, they turned it round, and I suppose that gave them good belief coming into this game. And I'd say, with them being at home and with the poor starts in both those games, if they right that wrong, they probably think it gives them a huge chance to come through that night. And they must have been thinking, here we go again, after that goal went in the first couple of minutes. It was an unlucky goal to concede, but since then 1-3 without reply has put them in the driving seat.
Oh, we're playing on, even though Danny McGill is still on the ground. He'll be well used to these conditions. He's an All-Ireland cross-country winner with his school in the past. Won an Ulster under-20 with Down in 2021. Played for Down in the McKenna Cup this season as well. Fourth year sports coaching and performance student, so knows what it takes to do what you need to do on the field of play. That said, even if he never attended a class, he would know that. Here's Jones, McCarran, McCaffrey from Fermanagh. A number of Fermanagh players standing up in the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup so far this year. Josh Largo Ellis among them. That's a dipping ball inside for Gilmore, who keeps it alive somehow. But it was really, really good pressure from Dara McIllarney. Reached a junior final last season with his club.
Yeah, good defending from McIllarney there. You know, with the inside forward line, they got to get direct ball in. They're too small. Once that ball hopped, you knew physically that the man was going to be under pressure there, Gilmore, and so it was. Intercepted
by Ryan Jones. Canavan. It was sloppy. Canavan was the target, didn't reach its target. Liam Smith clears, good ball by Smith. Plays for Ballantyre St John's in Dublin, reached the knockout stages in the Dublin Senior Football Championship this year. That's collected by Rutledge of Mayo. Rutledge, has he done enough to hook that one over? He has. Great score by Pierce Rutledge from Knockmore in Mayo.
That was a brilliant score, and something that was desperately needed by UCD. And you just see sometimes when you're committing, when you have those players forward, there's going to be gaps in the UU defence, and the ball is coming up quick when UCD did get it. But Rutledge that time on the left foot, there was a bit of a breeze coming in his face. At that stage there was 3 UU defenders converging on me. Only at a split second they take that shot from a tight angle, and it just squeezed over the far side lad post there. But a cracking score from them, and it was something that, as I say, even at this early stage UCD needed it, because it was 1-3 without reply up to that point.
Rutledge was part of James Horan's squad last year.
Well done.
And there was a foul off the ball. Eagle-eyed Paul Falloon spotting something that was going on well away from the football and where play was. A David Goff-esque spot. We'll keep you in touch, by the way, with UCC and Queen's. That one is going on in Dublin, but we haven't really had a chance to take breath here. Gilmore with his second free.
Yeah, simple score for Gilmore there. You're just looking at the movement of Gilmore and of Dara Canavan and Cush in that, and they are putting a bit of panic in the UCD defence whenever they're in that movement. And as I say, good reference by Falloon to notice the ball on the Jordanstown player and giving them another straightforward free to extend their lead back out to 3.
Cavan's Gary O'Rourke launching it long, the goalkeeper. UCD on the move, Brian Cox. Good ball inside, he picked out David Garland. The Monaghan man has pace, he's got accuracy, but he's also got half the Ulster University defence around him, and he fumbles it out of play.
He looks a live wire in there, Oisin Garland. I think he hadn't touched much of the ball before. And sometimes as a corner forward, you're mad to get going or get an impact on it. And he ran the UU man on the inside there. And listen, he almost was away. He just lost control of the ball on the hop, or he would have been right on goal. But you can see he's going to be a dangerous wee man if he can get isolated one-on-one.
McCaffrey, having received from Lynch, who looks even more composed this year than he has in the past with his distribution. McCarran, Josh Largo Ellis, back to Lynch. For all their success last year, Derry start life in Allianz League Division 2 this season. And of course the league this year is huge because of the ramifications it has on your championship position, if that makes sense.
That's right.
I can't go into it now because I'd probably get lost in it myself. Good running from McColgan. Won the free.
It's going to be a lot of football, and a lot of these guys out here seem to be involved in so much football. There's a lot in some of these guys' plates.
McCaffrey, I think he's pulled that one a bit wide. McColgan, another man who's kind of making his first steps into the inter-county scene. He did make his Donegal debut last year. Played recently against Down in the McKenna Cup. Came up against his college teammate Andrew Gilmore, and I guess that's what this competition, the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup, is all about. Being enemies in your county colours, but friends when you're playing for your college. Canavan, he's a good friend to Cush because that was a good pass, but they didn't make much use of the good position they had there. Paddy O'Keefe is fouled, it's a free out. Are Ulster University guilty of overcomplicating it here?
Yeah, certainly. Listen, Cush was 3 or 4 yards ahead of his man, maybe more, when he turned in that ball. He didn't get too much time. He could have kicked the ball over the bar. There probably was a goal on there, and I think at this point, you know, they definitely have the beating of their opposite men when they go forward. UU every time they seem to be one-on-one or direct ball in. They're getting a lot of joy with that, and it seems to be a counter-attack system UCD are trying to employ. But each time they get inside the 45, they are dangerous as well. But certainly at the minute, UU are owning possession and are full value for their lead.
UCD with a chance to get what would be just a third score, but it would reduce the gap to 2 points. With a long way to go. The rain has stopped, by the way, so conditions slightly better. That is Dara Craig who scored the goal, and now he has added a point. A mighty boot from Dara Craig from Boyle and Roscommon, county finalists last year.
He's having a great season here, Craig, with UCD, and that was another cracking kick from him from the left foot, all of it 44 metres out, and that is an important score to bring it back to 2 on it and keep the scoreboard ticking over for UCD.
He scored 1-5 against MTU Cork. 4 of those scores were for frees. 5 points in the All-Ireland Under-20 final. Unfortunately for his team, they lost that day, but getting to an All-Ireland underage final of any sort is a kind of a win for your county because it gives players a thirst and experience.
Do you think he'll see it that way?
No, absolutely not. But if Roscommon win a Connacht or an All-Ireland, then they'll talk about the building process that was.
I get you.
Jim McGuinness just happened to do it very quickly in Donegal, so it's tempered your it's raised your expectations. You want an All-Ireland final and win 2 or 3 years.
If you had it when I was there, it would be more like it, you know. But
no one could have managed you to success. I said he was a manager, not a magician.
There you go. No psychologist then, I'm afraid.
Convery. Josh Largo Ellis. I'm not sure if it's coming across in the microphones, but they are blasting out a beat from behind us on one of the pitches. I'm worried that Brendan will walk off and start dancing somewhere.
Yeah, I haven't got the hip done since I'm back in the dance floor, you know.
You back in the DJ booth yet?
That's it. I couldn't. They can't afford me.
Here's McCaffrey spinning out of a tackle. Stone chases after him, the Wicklow man. Another man who's playing inter-county football at the moment. Here's Murdoch. And that's a wide.
Be disappointed with that, Dawson. That was another break right through the heart of the UCD. The last couple of wides, I think, you know, you'd be very disappointed when they were both very kickable. And listen, you've just got a wee sense that UCD have maybe stabilised themselves. They were all over the place for a while there. There could have been a couple of more goals on for UU, and they've kind of stabilised now. And that, as I say, Georgetown be disappointed with the last couple of kicks and goals. They were definitely scoreable points.
And if UCD are still in it at half-time, I think they'll consider that a real positive. Cush. Held up by Stone. And Cush overplays it. It was really good pressure from Stone, and it's a free out.
Great tackle from Stone there. Right, Cush looks very sharp there now. He was having bits of pieces at him before that, but it was never a foul, and he forced Cush into overplay.
Craig has options, takes one, fumbled but regathered by Lynham of Westmeath. Buckley, who's studying a Masters in UCD. Rutledge. O'Keefe. Liam Smith. You're going to hear an awful lot more about this guy, by the way, Liam Smith. Craig. Craig's in on goal again. What a finish from Dara Craig. He's second of the night.
What a run, what a run. You were just talking about Smith there, and the breaking the lines is the key. You thought you were well set there, but that ball coming across for a second goal from Craig, it looked like he didn't strike it that hard. Length seemed a bit slow to move in the UU goals, but the ball going into the side of the net and another massive score for them.
Carl Gallagher just about gathered by McCaffrey. Great save, O'Rourke. McCaffrey, the Fermanagh man, denied by O'Rourke, the Cavan man. How big a moment is that?
That was always such an instant reply there, Rosh. I mean, what a break up the pitch. I mean, you talk about scoring a goal and being vulnerable just after. A sweeping move up from UU, and what a brilliant stop by O'Rourke in the goals, and just on about Lynch being a bit slow to move. There's nothing with O'Rourke there. That was a brilliant save to his right hand side.
That's another fine pass. A great pivot, a great finish. That's Moriarty, the Meath man.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. You just got a wee sense there from UCD that they'd weathered a bit of a storm. There was a couple of potential goals and points in there which UU didn't take. They just looked like they were growing into the game, and that one bonus has now turned this game on its head a bit. Another fine kick on goals there, and another great score for UCD there, finding their feet in this game.
Moriarty is a fine scorer. Scored 9 points against Dublin in the Leinster Under-20 Championship last year. They still didn't manage to win that game, but he couldn't have done much more. This is another wide. It's Carl Gallagher. Wasn't composed when he struck it, the Emma Vale player. The same place as he's from the same place as Tommy Bowe. Do we say rugby's Tommy Bowe or TV's Tommy Bowe now? I'm not sure.
Fashion designer, the whole
fashion, that's right. I was about to say I'm literally wearing his shoes. They're not actually Tommy's. They're from the company that
the fashionable Monaghan man. That's how they're setting this. They're setting the tone now.
Safe to say I'm not the kind of influencer he's looking for. Pierce Rutledge. Sean Coffey, another Meath man, trying to make an impact, and he has, to be fair. Rutledge getting away from the tackle of Ben McCarran. Rutledge. Kieran Kennedy, the captain. He's found his man. Have they found a third goal? No, they haven't, because of a very good save by Lynch. Gathering it there was Craig, who's on a hat-trick, but he couldn't finish it off. He does get a 45, however. Great save by Oren Lynch. We've seen him do that, the Maherfeld man, just standing up and making himself big and making it hard.
Yeah, brilliant ball in there, and Stone or Lynch finding himself in the back there. He just got out the right foot, tried to spread himself, and he's definitely the biggest man on the pitch, and it was his feet that did the blocking at that stage. That would have been a massive score in the game to put UCD completely in the driving seat. So listen, you getting off with one from a period there in the first half where they dominated and should have had a couple of goal chances themselves. They're now being opened up by some brilliant crossfield passing by UCD.
Didn't necessarily always have the ambition of being a goalkeeper, but he was put in there and kind of grew to like it. Here's David Garland, a man who absolutely loves this competition. Does that have the legs? It's fumbled in again. I'm not sure if it was Lynch who'll be credited with an own goal or whether or not someone got a touch on it. Moriarty was in there battling for it as well. I'm sure UCD don't care. They've got their third goal.
Yeah, that's a terrible goal to give away. You know, the 45 dropping short. It looked like someone went in with Lynch, but he definitely had his hands on it, Ocean, from what we can see here. He fumbled the ball, and that goal that seemed to be coming for UCD has come in terrible circumstances defensively from a UU perspective as they go on a hunt to try and take back this lead at the minute. It's now stretched out to 12 points to 7, and UCD really coming in this game and taking over as it stands now. They've sorted out their defence. They've kept UU to 3 wides in the last 7 or 8 minutes, and they've profited themselves on the scoreboard. So they've sorted out their defence, and I suppose what we're seeing is what we've seen in previous games from Jordanstown. We've seen the best of them at spells in this game, and we've seen the worst of them.
O'Rourke solid under pressure there. It was a dipping ball from Ryan Jones, although I do think he meant it as a shot. Either way, UCD avoid conceding a score. 3-3 to 1-4 with 6 minutes to go to half time. It has been thoroughly entertaining so far. Moriarty. UCD calm with possession. Stone. Paddy O'Keefe. With that strange situation last week of University of Galway, driven on by Matthew Tierney and Cathal Sweeney, beating John Dively's UCD, and of course he works with them at county level, trying to take off through the gap as Lynham. O'Keefe goes wide. Liam Smith. That's a great ball, and it's a fantastic finish. Garland was waiting, and he absolutely buried it.
Yeah, what a ball game from Smith. We're talking about those crossfield balls, those long balls. You know, the UU defence just doesn't seem to be able to cope with them, and they're looking up every time from it. It was something that never happened for the first 15 minutes of the game, but since then they've been pinging them balls, and that's their 4th goal of the game. And Garland, as you say, waiting like the predator inside. He turned and hit the ball in the roof of the net, and listen, who was expecting 4 goals in the first half to be conceded? I certainly don't think UU were going to think they would have conceded that at half time, and already they have a massive mountain to climb in this game. And as I say, from a period where it took UCD a while to settle in, they've grown in this game and they've figured out how to open up this UU defence. They're doing it time and time again. They could have had 6 or 7 goals in this first half.
Kennedy. That one goes wide. That's Garland's 3rd goal in 3 Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup games this year. If you're Vinnie Corey and you want to get the best out of him for Monaghan, before he goes out for every game, regardless of whether it's League or Ulster Championship, just tell him it's a Sigerson Cup game.
Yeah,
that's where he plays his best football.
It was funny, as I was saying, those early exchanges, you could see the buzz when he got the ball that time that he wanted to get involved in the game, but he was too far wide. You have a player like Garland inside one-on-one, he's going to lose his man to get the ball, or in that stage drop in behind his opposite number and put the ball in the back of the net. He's so sharp and so dangerous, and as you're right, certainly a huge player. He's going to be for Monaghan in the future. After
13 minutes, it was 1-4 to a goal in favour of UU. 1-1, I beg your pardon. And since that, UCD have just taken over. That's some scoring in a very short space of time, 14 minutes, whatever it is. 4-3 for UCD, 1-4 for Ulster University. But they do have the players to kick their way back into this, including this man, McColgan. They're trying a crossfielder, McCarran. That's gathered well by UCD, and they'll go on the counter-attack. Garland, look how far back he is. But he was dispossessed. McGill, flicked on by Murdoch. I think any kind of score would do at the moment. McGill will go for goal, and he won't get it. It's blocked down the line. The danger not gone yet. McGill had a swipe. It comes to him again. They try to bundle it in. They can't. Here's Canavan. Canavan hunted down there, and in the end they get a point. They needed to get something from that attack. They were denied a goal on a couple of occasions by the UCD defence, but they were patient. Canavan used the ball well. He knew not to rush the shot. He knew not to do anything silly, and in the end it was popped over.
Yeah, you'd think even at this stage in the first half that they could have done with the goal there, just to respond with a 3-pointer and get back in there, because they had 3 wides in a row there. But that was certainly some kind of score out there. It was cushion in the end. They say Canavan looking so sharp when he got that ball. You thought he was just going to turn on the left foot and tap it over, but there was tackles coming in every direction. He did the right thing and offloaded it. So something very important for UU to get that score to stem the tide and bring them back to 1-5 to 4-3. But as you say, goals I think is going to win this game. I think they sense themselves already, even though it's pre-half time, they might need to hit the back of the net with one.
Well, UCD appear to be making a change. Ronan Buckley of Kerry is going off over on the far side. I presume that's maybe a blood subber due to injury, because he was playing well, as were the rest of his teammates. The goalkeeper Lynch is all the way up here, just trying to force UCD into mistakes, but it's not happening. McIlarney. Kennedy. McGill steals it back. Has very few options. Murdoch. There's just too many UCD bodies back there for that kind of ball. It's easily intercepted by Stone. O'Keefe. Feely was named to start, didn't, but is in now. Another Roscommon man. Roscommon well represented in this UCD team between him and Craig. Rutledge, another man of Connacht. Smith. Stone, I beg your pardon. Rutledge. Well taken by Coffey. Kennedy.
You notice a small bit of calm coming into the game. You know, UCD already realising they have the number of UU if they want it. Keeping possession now. They're going to wait for the right passes on.
Dara Craig. It was interesting to hear Liam Smith say to Kieran Kennedy there when they had the ball just in front of us here on the left wing, we need to play it higher.
Yes. You know, UU are sticking to their guns here. They're still keeping the players inside, looking to deliver the ball early, but in many ways UCD seem to have sorted out the issues in their backline around those three inside dangerous players, and the possession that they were getting, they don't seem to be getting it anymore.
Brian Cox is down injured. It has opened up a bit of space for Ryan Jones. Jones!
Brilliant.
That's an exquisite finish. The only place he could put the ball is where he put the ball, and UU get a bit of a lifeline before half time.
Yeah, massive score there. What a run from Jones. I mean, you want to see your mammy number 5 half back coming up the pitch and maybe chipping on their score, but that time he looked like an inside forward. He skinned the UCD cornerback, came inside and kept us cool, planting the ball into that left corner at the right corner at the near side there. And just before half time, that actually is a massive injection into the UU scoreline.
It's the family business, just like it is for the Canavans. He's the grandson of Iggy Jones, actually made his Tyrone senior debut against Fermanagh this season alongside his brother, and he was named player of the match, so he is very much capable of doing it at the top level, as he has done just before half time in this Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup encounter, which UCD lead by 4-3 to 2-5. After 13 minutes it was 1-4 to 1-1 in favour of UU, but then UCD just went on a scoring burst. Brendan, just before we take a break, what have you made of it?
Yeah, well, it's a long time since we've seen 6 goals in the first half of a game. It's really been in it. It hasn't been a night where conditions have asked of that. I just think you have two very sharp inside forward lines who are looking to either come short and win the ball and they have too much of the opposite number, or flip in around the back of the defence. And we've seen both forward lines get in around the back of their opposition numbers time and time again. And as crazy as it may seem, there could have been 10 or 11 goals in that first half. So there's no doubt what the half-time team talk is going to be about. It's going to be about plugging up space in your full back line, getting that cover in and around your defence to stop that, because most defence are trying to shut out goals altogether, but there's just been an absolute enormous amount of chances in this half. And I'd say once UCD settled, they should have conceded maybe 3 or 4 goals themselves at that stage. Once they settled, they have had the more compact defence, the more disciplined defence. They've plugged up the gaps. They've got in grips with that forward line of UUs, and then when they break up the pitch, they have been the dangerous side. And you know, at that stage when UU led in the first half, they were playing by far the much better football, but UCD completely turned it on its head. They say hitting those extra 3 goals to go with that goal they got in the first minute. And at the minute they are in the driving seat in this game, because I think the system they're playing, they're more solid at the back, they're breaking up the pitch, still finding the space. So big job to do at half time in UU to sort that defence out, to try and make more of a game of it. So I think at the minute it's definitely UCD in the driving seat.
It's UCC 9 points, Queen's University 4 points after 37 minutes. That one is going on at the GAA Centre of Excellence in Abbottstown in Dublin, right beside the swimming pool. If you know where I'm talking about, you know what I mean, just kind of in around the Blanchardstown area. Here it is 4-3 UCD, 2-5 Ulster University. We will be back with the second half, so stay with us.
Doesn't clog up the opposition defence too much.
Paul Falloon, by the way, is our referee. And it's a goal. Well, it was a real scramble. UU trying to get the movement going a bit quicker. That's a boomer of an effort. And an excellent score. Great stuff for him to beat, but Ulster University don't give up on it. That's a delicious pass to McGill. And McGill puts it over. Very good.
That might have cost him in the last couple of games at times, but right now it's reaping dividends in this match.
Here's Conor Cush. Great finish. Collected by Rutledge of Mayo. Rutledge. Has he done enough to hook that one over? He has. Great score, Smith. Craig. Craig's in on goal again. What a finish from Dara Craig. He's second of the night.
A brilliant save to his right hand side.
That's another fine pass. A great pivot. A great finish. That's Moriarty. Here in Kennedy, the captain. He's found his man. Have they found a third goal? No, they haven't, because of a very good save by Lynch. Gathering it there. Does that have the legs? It's fumbled in again. I'm not sure if it was Lynch who'll be credited with the... O'Keane goes wide. Liam Smith. That's a great ball. And it's a fantastic finish. Canavan. Canavan hunted down there. And in the end they get a point. They needed to get something from that attack. Brian Cox is down injured. It has opened up a bit of space for Ryan Jones. Jones, that's an exquisite finish. The only place he could put the ball is
Blood sub, he's come back one again. So he makes it.
Ulster University, can the home team here at Jordanstown Sports Village make a comeback? Ball flighted in by McGill. They tried desperately to keep it alive. Gilmore was running after it. He's fast, but he's not that fast. Kennedy laid it off for Feely. Now with these hands on it is Sean Coffey. Kennedy. Well, UU need to get some scores, Brendan Devaney, but they also need to stop this UCD machine. Kennedy and Smith have been coming up with some first-class deliveries off the wing, creating scores. If they can stop those two, they have a chance here.
Yeah, great use of the kick pass in the game, and you were just asking, can they come back? Well, certainly there's a turnover ball.
Turnover high up the pitch. They're in behind again. And it's in again from David Garland, his second of the game.
What a surprise. Garland again. And again, that turnover ball, you know, if you're going to come out with the ball, you have to be sure that you keep possession, that you at least don't give it up, you know, pull it free or try and get a pass away. But that time, the overturned ball leaving you completely exposed, and UCD breaking with such pace. They look really confident now after they weathered that first 15 minutes, and as they broke in there, who else but Garland again slipping them round the back just like a poacher in front of goals. There's no doubting where the ball was going to end up, and it's in the back of the net. And you know, we talked about goals in the first half. The second half, only a minute old, and the ball's in the back of the net already.
Garland, after some fine work by Craig, who was involved in that move, can UU hit back straight away? Getting his hands on it there was Gallagher, but it's a wide. As UU play in towards that. Well, the ends here, I was talking to some people who work at the Jordanstown Sports Village. The ends don't have specific names, but that's more or less the Belfast end. Behind us is Belfast Lock, and if you go out to the right, where Gary O'Rourke, or I beg your pardon, where Oren Lynch is in goal, that's kind of the Carrickfergus end. That's the general directions around here. Great catch. Good work from McColligan. Ben McCarran. Well, UU have tried to foot pass as well, but UCD have just used the foot pass better. Gilmore.
Gilmore dragging that wide. You can see that compact defence of UCD. They're difficult to break down. I think even at this point, I think if they don't cough up goal chances, they can win this match. And you know, you think about it, only for the UU 1-1 there just before the end of the first half, this game would have been completely over by a contest already.
Garland, advantage being played. Garland might need it. He doesn't. Garland again. He's having a night of nights.
Yeah, what a goal machine he is. He's just unstoppable here. As I say, you feed him the ball and he's going to do damage. And listen, he's running absolute riot there. Listen, you don't know who to put on him there. I mean, that time it was Conor Gurn that was on him. And at this stage now, of course, the captain, McGill, is coming back, trying to double mark him. And at this point, it's too little too late. 6 goals have been scored, and Garland's been involved in a lot of them and has hit 3 himself, and he's having an unbelievable game. And it's very rarely you'll see the goals outscore or be above the points tally. It's something you might see in some underage games, but it's happening here tonight, and it's an amazing scoreline for UCD.
You've gone route 1. Cush grabbed it, but he was absolutely surrounded. That's him escaping with it again. Regathers, tried to slip it to Canavan. If anyone can, he can. Canavan somehow, well, I was about to say took it back, but then it was stolen by Paddy O'Keefe. It was like a game of rugby there for a second. Paul Tolan, we spoke about him before the game. Laid off by Lynham. Rutledge. Moriarty. Chased by Quinn. From Galbally in Tyrone. All-Ireland finalist recently, beaten by Rathmore. It's another free into UCD. Well, Ulster University were one of the favourites for this year's Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup. It looks like their campaign is going to end tonight unless they can come up with a miracle. Here's Garland. Goals, points, he can do it all.
Oh, he's been a complete standout player here tonight. They just keep giving him the ball. You don't know who is supposed to be marking him or who's supposed to be sweeping in front of him. There's no one seems to be able to get near him at all. He's a complete live wire inside, and at times a left-footed shot from about 30 yards, clipped it over right in the middle of the post. He is a man on fire tonight, and 6 goals and 4 points. It's a massive scoreline they've accrued already in this game. And it's going to be a tough ask, because you can see this defensive solidity of UCD. They look solid, they're not letting anybody through the centre, and they're saying, listen, if we don't concede goal chances, we'll go through in this tie.
Well, people thought maybe they weren't as solid defensively as they actually are, but you have to keep in mind University of Galway kind of rallied late in the game that they won. They do try and chip away at the lead through Largo Ellis, and he has got a good score coming up from wing back. The Irvin's time from Anaman, kicking a vital point, a much needed point. They need a lot more, but that is a decent start.
Yeah, let's kick in the point, and you just look at UCD. They're going to be set up that you're not going to get into that danger zone where you're going to get goals, and they know then they can compact that and hit UU in the counter attack. And now it almost looks actually that the three that they're leaving up front could maybe crowd the area. It looks as if you nearly need more space in there if you're going to conjure up goals, because those three are pulling back at least one sweeper.
Falls kindly for Rutledge. Up against Lynch. Rutledge smashes it home. A 7th goal for UCD, but nothing lucky about it.
Yeah, this just keeps coming and coming. Actually, that time Rutledge joining in, and listen, he's been marked by his opposite number, McCarran. And where was he at that point? And you talk about players dropping in and sweeping in that, you got to get a hold to some man, and Rutledge that time left 1-on-1, 21 yards out as UU chased the game with a simple, he kept his composure actually as the keeper went down. He held on to the ball and waited. He got the shot away and planted it in the roof of net for another brilliant goal for UCD, and 7 goals already in this match. And listen, to say, you just look at the attack now of UU, and you can see UCD dropping in with that solid system, saying, come and try and break us down.
There has been some scrambled goals for UCD, but most of them have been very well worked. Rutledge, who's studying pharmacology, he's in 4th year, so not too sure how much more college time he has left, but again, another one who's desperate to leave with an Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup.
Yeah, it was double scores in the first half when UCD took over. As if we had that small period of play where UU come back with a goal and a point, and took the deficit down to 4 points at half time. Give them some glimmer of hope, but again, UCD completely taken over in the start of the second half.
Cush. Well, it seems a long time ago since UU were leading by 3 points here. After 13 minutes, 1-4 to 1-1 was the score, and ever since UCD have pretty much taken it over. 7-4. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in an adult game of football.
You do see it at underage and a few other games. You don't be surprised by it, but you just think with players of these calibre, and I'm sure when they're playing with their clubs or playing under 20s or any that are in senior squads, they wouldn't concede 7 goals in a full game. And listen, actually, we're not finished yet. And the way UCD are moving, and particularly Garland inside, we could get into double figures.
You wonder if fatigue is hitting UU as well. A lot of them are playing with their counties, training with their counties. Obviously had a tough game on Sunday in fairly tough conditions in Ballinderry. There's one man who we know can try and keep them alive. It's Dara Canavan. That's not even wide. It doesn't go dead. That's a disappointing effort from James Donaghy from Carrickmore Tyrone.
Yeah, just as you said that looked like a tired effort to you, actually.
Canavan, to be fair, has worked and battled and tried his best, but unfortunately for him and UU, they've just been completely outclassed so far tonight. Remember, this is a UU team who are missing Conor Glass and Ethan Doherty, who may or may not have more club commitments, but they definitely have Derry commitments. Is that a foul by the fullback Ryan McGill? I think it is. It's a free into UCD. Conor McCrickard listed among the subs as well. Another man who could do damage if put in.
Yeah. Egan, of course, UCD as well.
That's right, Cormac Egan is missing, and they're missing James Morgan from Longford, who has a shoulder injury. Not sure he'll be back for the quarter-final, and it is a matter really, I suppose, for UCD of thinking of the next stage now. 25 points to 12. My maths is not amazing, but I think I have it right. That's another fine score. It's all coming up UCD tonight, isn't it? That was Dara Craig.
Yeah, Craig, listen, he's had a fantastic season. Brilliant with the day of ball and all-round play. Another long-range kick from him. And I think whoever the opposition in the next game, I should certainly think in blanket defence anyway, because this is a goal-hungry UCD team, and no doubt their danger is hitting the back of the net with the ball. So I think the opposition defence, should they get through this tonight, which looks likely, it'll be plan number one, shut out the goals. But certainly tonight, it's something that you have not been able to stop in any shape or form. And to be honest, there could be a lot more goals in the game.
Speaking of goals, Queens have got a few, and it's brought them right back into it against UCC at the GA Centre of Excellence in Abbottstown. It's UCC 14 points, Queens 3-4 with 4 minutes to go. Queens, who've been Jekyll and Hyde in this competition this season. A great performance to beat Ulster University at the Dub. Then they were absolutely battered by DCU away on a Friday night in Dublin, which was difficult last Friday night, but they've bounced back well. They're playing well tonight, obviously. May not be enough, but that one could go to extra time. Remember, these games have to end on the night, so we could get penalties there as well. Donaghy. There was a foul off the ball, advantage was being played, but none came, so it is a free into UU.
You get the sense from UCD here, they're just happy enough to kind of let the game, take the heat out of the game now. They have such a lead here, Aston, that they don't need to concede anything but an odd score, and they can hit UU in the break.
Gilmore doesn't have the legs. Solid hands from Gary O'Rourke, the UCD goalkeeper. He's going to want to put it up to Raymond Galligan for the #1 spot in Cavan. Looks like he could do it as well. Galligan, who recently made his 100th appearance for Cavan, that was in the McKenna Cup on a rainy night in Kingspan Breffni Park when they overcame Armagh. Armagh making 11 changes or something like that at half time on that night. Kieran McGeaney doing a bit of a Sven-Göran Eriksson. Remember, against Spain in an international friendly, he made 11 changes. Off the ball, UCD, or on the ball, UCD have committed a foul. McIllarney's hanging on to that, isn't he? He doesn't want to give it back.
I think that's part of the thing now, just kind of kill and upset the flow of the game, because that's going to play in the UCD hands. They know that already. Yeah, one of the complaints about the saga from the league, the club final, is the amount of subs. One about like so many subs are allowed in and out, and that kind of add to it. But it certainly created some debate and some comments since.
Michael Gallagher from Tyrone is in, but I think they'll be allowed to retake that one because the referee had blown the whistle. I'm not sure he wanted play to go on. UU were trying to rush it, as you can imagine they would want to. Here's Derek Canavan. Canavan tries to work it short. It's just a little bit miscued. Whether or not that was the fault of the runner who came over, McColgan, or whether or not that was the fault of Canavan, I'm not sure. Canavan desperate to try and keep it in play, but it's been turned over by UCD again. They look like they're a machine. Malachy Stone calming it down, passed it back behind them to Feely. Feely. Line up. Garland is probing again if they can get him the ball. They're going direct. It's a wide. It's interesting actually, I'm not sure if you can pick it up at home, but you can hear John Dively every time they kick a score on that end, shouting at his team, reset, reset, reset.
Yeah, they're very well drilled, physically very solid too. As you can see, every one of them on the ball, they're hard to dislodge when they get it. They can break the UU tackles, and you know they have a simple formula going forward. It's to get it inside to the danger man. And when people say goals win games, I mean if you get 7, you should be far away.
UCC 15 points, Queens 3-5. They're in injury time at Abbottstown. That's a free into UU. McColgan has been given license to go forward. He is doing some hard running, but they're just not making the incisions that they need to, much as McColgan is trying. Gilmore taps it over. That's his 3rd of the match, all 3 from frees.
That's a kind of score UCD don't mind coughing up. They know themselves if you have to give away just a normal body check or stop a player advancing to give that type of foul, that's never going to get UU back into the game, and that's the way they're playing it now. It's completely on their terms. It's going to be something special, and you just can't see it coming. Oisin, you know, physically inside, they can't take long, direct, high balls, and they don't have that type of strength or ability inside. It has to be that sharp, quick ball in that suits a small player.
Jones lets it in. UCD have plenty of bodies back. It's a fine block. It was gathered there by Tom Close, but the Clonduff man couldn't finish.
Yeah, and you see Close coming on to deal with that type of thing I just mentioned. He's on, I suppose, with that bit of height and strength to say give it indirect, because I don't think the other forwards, Kosh, Canavan and Gallagher inside, they haven't got that physical ability, so he's in there to win that direct ball in, because I think they realise that's the route they have to take.
Here's Jones, gives himself a bit of time to pick it up. They found a bit of time and space through McCrickard. He was going for goal, no doubt about it, went for power. It meant maybe the accuracy was lacking, but he does get his first point of the game. Conor McCrickard, who won a AIB Munster Club Championship with St Finbarrs, then last season won an Ulster Intermediate hurling title with his club. That's good. Man. Yeah, very talented, and a really excellent hurler as well. I asked him would he do an interview while he was playing with St Finbarrs, and he was actually quite shy. He felt nearly embarrassed that he was in the team, having only arrived, and his manager Paul O'Keefe said to me, I'd have no problem with it. Once you wear the jersey, you're a Bars man. They're a great club in Cork. Great. Galloping on is Murdoch. Looks shanked again, but it might stay in play. That's the only advantage of that shot being so wide. Nope, goes wide.
Yeah, UCD playing a bit of a dangerous game here. It's not late enough in the day for them just to be sitting in. They've really lost much of their own tempo in that. They're really looking at the scoreboard thinking, you know, we'll see this out. We see in football, you know, this can change. This last 5 minutes or so, you've had a lot of possession. You know, they've kicked a couple of scores. They should have had another one there, you know, and even though you're thinking they definitely need goals, you know, we've seen momentum switches before as big as this, and in many ways they'll need to get a bit more grip of this game, because they've completely gone flat as a team, and they're allowing UU back into this game. It is only points, but they are beginning to creep back into it.
Dara McIllarney was fouled by Tom Close. And it's a free for UCD. Close, part of that Clonduff team that brought Kilcoo to penalties in the down quarter final this year. Well, last year, you know what I mean. McIllarney. A really good score by McIllarney, his first of the game.
Yeah, well listen, that's the difference of going forward, and the efficiency of UCD has to be admired there. You know, they did go flat for a few minutes there, and you were thinking, could there be possibly something happen here? It was going to take a huge switch, but if they're going to come up the pitch, and that's basically one of their full back line or one of their sweepers, it didn't matter. You know, and that's the key in the modern game. When you find yourself up, even though you're the current sweeper, the team that's sitting in, you know, defending that back line, when you get inside, you got to punish the opposition. And that's just what happened. Another great score from UCD, and I think that just took that wee bit of a flurry of play, has taken the life out of UU a small bit. As I was saying, points was never really going to be enough. They really got to get in around the back of this UCD backline.
It was anything but an agricultural finish from McIlarney, who's studying animal and crop production. He's in 3rd year at UCD. McCrickard. Gallagher with that crossfield ball, which can be dangerous, but not when you have defenders who can catch the ball and break like that. Craig. You'd be excited if you were Davy Burke watching this. And Corey. Garland getting away from McColgan. Garland, he couldn't go for another goal, could he? He could, but he doesn't. He goes for his 2nd point. 3-2. And that might actually be more, because we think maybe he got a touch on another goal. There was a couple of scramble goals that one would need to look back at.
Yeah, Garland's just operating on another level there, and you actually feel sorry for, you know, the different players that they've tried on him tonight. Nothing seems to have worked, and even when they've got a sweeper in front of him, it doesn't seem to be enough as well. And really, you know, he's given McColgan a tough time there. But listen, he's 1-on-1 there. He's so fast. It's just literally pace. He's burning you around, and that was a brilliant corner forwards point coming in from a tight angle, fisting the ball over the bar just to extend that lead.
They're going to extra time at the GAA Centre of Excellence in Abbottstown. UCC 15 points, Queen's University 3-6. I know what you're thinking, why didn't we cover that game? But if you could predict which games would be great and which ones would be not so great, that would make you the greatest analyst in the world. McCarran laid it off. Trying to bash his way through is McCaffrey.
Brilliant.
That's wide.
Bad luck for McCaffrey. It was a great run bursting through UCD there. But listen, we've seen a 7-7 kick there from UCD. It's been a bit of a special night for them. We've seen some unbelievable performance, particularly from Garland up front. Greg himself kicking him a 2-2, you know. I mean, the goals have been fantastic here so far, but I think the second half has been a bit of a non-event because UCD have controlled it and realised they can just hit UU on the break, which they've done brilliantly.
Line, Dermot, cut line. That's it.
Left behind by Cush, but he was fouled. Spilled to Canavan. Well, they're going for goals. UCD know that, so they just drop players back, and every time they're in front of the attacker.
Yeah, see that again. Close is the one man they've brought on for a bit of height. Canavan trying to find him there, but listen, if Close needs the ball, he needs it in high, and he needs to be dangerous and in around that box area where he might get a fist or knock it down the attainment. That time Canavan putting the ball in front of him, which is the kind of corner forward ball or inside ball that the smaller players like. So listen, nothing seems to be going right for UU in this half. You know, there's a couple of bad wides, and when they had that wee spell, they still kicked a couple of wides. I suppose in that time they needed a goal, but as I say, we've just seen UCD mop it up since, and hitting UU in the break a few times as well. They look a real solid outfit going forward from this game.
Paul Tolan has gone off for UCD. The nature of these college games is very often at these pitches they don't have a sound system, let alone use it, so we're not sure who has come on for him. I think it might actually be Fiacre Clifford from Kerry, an Electric Ireland minor championship winner a couple of years ago, was on the minor team of the year, played with David Clifford. That's a good point for UU, but it's goals they need. Was that Gallagher who kicked it over?
Michael Gallagher, yeah. Listen, the subs have all come in fairness for UU have all played their part. You know, they've all come on and tried to get stuck in, and they know what to do or die, and we just haven't seen enough from the rest of their team to really put it up to UCD.
Free for UU. It is now very much called Ulster University because the actual university and academic side is no longer in Jordanstown. That's the home of the Sports Village where we're coming to you from right now, but the actual classes and all that are all in Belfast. Well taken by McCrickard, who has made a difference since coming in. They're missing Niall Loughlin as well. We mentioned that they were missing Glass and Doherty. Can they work a goal here? No. Great save by Gary O'Rourke. And taking that shot was Tom Close.
Yeah, great effort. That's a ball into Close. Listen, he's on to get goals, and he's trying his best inside there. But really, you know, O'Rourke has looked very sharp in the goals as well. He's pulled off a couple of great saves in this game and tipping that one over the bar. And as you're saying, even at this late stage, you're going to go searching for goals, but that defence, UCD looks very solid.
$28 points to 16 when you make the conversion. And again, UCD in absolutely no rush to give the ball back. This time it was Dermot Moriarty. Moriarty with another evil plan.
It's a tough place to be for these lads now. You know, with UU, they have to go and get a goal, and UCD know they can pack it out.
Largo Ellis into the square. Will it bounce kindly for UU? No, they can't buy a break tonight. O'Rourke got his hands on it. He was fouled free out.
Yeah, listen, O'Rourke recovered well there. That ball could have ended up in the back of the net, but you know, when you're going searching for that, you know that UCD can pack and spare bodies back, and that makes everything so difficult. But they have basically, outside lead period in the first half, played the game on their terms, and it's from their defence that their danger's been. And when they broke up the pitch, you know, they did look so much more dangerous, but it's from that defensive platform. And I suppose it's just the way the game, we were saying before the match, about that counter-attack, everybody's playing similar, but the interchange and the pace that they come up with, and once they got past the halfway line, they were looking to kick it. Both teams were, just UCD were better set in their defensive shape to stop UU getting inside, except for that period in the first half where they hit the 1-4 without reply. Apart from that, the majority of the game, UCD have really bossed and have looked a complete deal in terms of defence and the attack. And you know, 7-7, it's a strange scoreline they have up so far, but certainly with that ability they have inside, particularly with Garland, it's as good a performance you'll see from a corner forward. I know it's early in the year, actually that wee man's going to take a lot of stopping.
Dermot Moriarty back up and running, a third-year science student in UCD. For all we focus on the football and talk about their abilities on the field, the reason they're in college is to get an education, and of course it's not handed to them, they have to work for it.
They'll be doing their homework on the bus on the way back down, isn't there?
All with the laptops out. Craig, great delivery. Garland calls the mark.
They get a wee bang after too now. I don't think it would take it out of him. He's like a wee James McCartan there, just not the kind of guy I can imagine a corner back would want to be on.
Now there's a man who loves Sigerson Cup football, James McCartan. First Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup final I covered was actually his Queens against that amazing DCU team. Was it 06? Maybe a bit later than that, but when you look at the names on the team, absolutely stellar on both sides.
Yes.
We've got hurling for you tomorrow night. We're coming to you live from UL for the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup. It's TUS Midwest against UL in a local derby. James O'Connor will join us on commentary. That's a yellow card for Ronan McCaffrey of County Fermanagh. And that's another score for David Garland.
7-3-4, is it? Actually, 3-3. 3-4.
McColgan. Don't forget, you'll be able to watch highlights of this game on the Electric Ireland and Higher Education GA social media channels. Will one of those highlights be a third UU goal? They'll certainly try for one. Another fine save by O'Rourke. There's just too many bodies in the way there. It's a real scramble. It was picked off the ground, was it? I think that's a penalty. It is a penalty. Giving it away was Feely. He will say he was unlucky there, that the ball there was a little hop in it, but
they turned over the ball. I think it broke out there. I think it might have been McCarron, was it? Came onto it then. I think he tried to dink it almost soccer style. I think he went to do the wee chip there to get it around O'Rourke. But yeah, I think it was a lift off the ground. Alright, just presented a late opportunity for Cush,
who's already scored from a penalty in this game. Good save by O'Rourke, comes back to Cush, who pushed it home. Probably too little too late, but 2 goals for Cush tonight for Ulster University.
Yeah, got lucky there again. And I say, listen, there's been some brilliant performances over the pitch from UCD, but I think that man Nets O'Rourke has been first class. And you know, he saved that penalty, almost got to the rebound there as well. But listen, that's the kind of thing I think UU needed at the start of this half to give them some glimmer of hope. But at this stage, it's just a small consolation.
O'Rourke not unfamiliar with coming up against some of these Ulster University players tonight. Played against Ben McCarron in the Electric Ireland Ulster minor final in 2017. McCarron on the Ulster University side today. O'Rourke studying mathematics and science in UCD, as another free is lined up by Dara Craig. Extra time, by the way, in Abbottstown, just in case you're only tuning in. You can keep up with that game on the Scorpio app. There's updates available there. Free out for Ulster University. First time here tonight. It's a fine campus. Unfortunately tonight, not a happy one, but a fine one. They'll go for a 4th goal. Spills kindly. Cush. Another fine block. I think that was McGill who came up from fullback to free out. It's a strange situation when in winter time you score 3-10 in a match and still don't even come close to winning it.
Yeah, you wouldn't say that they underperformed at the other end of the pitch, alright, but it's just been a phenomenal show by the UCD inside line.
McLarney. Intercepted in the way was McCaffrey. Such is his team's luck tonight that it still fell the way of a UCD man. That was the final shot of the game. Wasn't the best shot, but it didn't matter because it was done. 7-8 UCD, 3-10 Ulster University. UCD march on to the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup quarter-finals for Ulster University in 2023. It's the end of the road. Brendan Devaney.
Yeah, it's the end of the road, and listen, you can't argue with it. You know, we said we couldn't call this game before the match, judging on previous performances, and just with these teams, the way you get them together and how they perform on any given day, it is a small bit of a lottery, no matter how star-studded or what players you have. You know, but certainly the form would be seen. We were on about Jordanstown before the game. Will the real Jordanstown stand up? Will it be that team that played the second half against A2U? And that's what we actually seen in the first half. Outside the goal that they conceded early on, they did play the better football. They were trying to keep the 3 inside and give the ball in direct. But once UCD got the grips of that and were hitting them on the counter, they completely exposed the Jordantown defence. And you say, listen, the brilliance inside of Garland and Gregg and the running, the ball's in, the crossfield passes. Listen, they say they carried the ball up the pitch, they kept possession till they got into the UCD half, then they delivered the ball, either direct pass or diagonal balls, and as I say, such was the pace inside that UU just couldn't cope with it at all. So listen, the 7 goals was kicked. There could have been a lot more than that, and definitely UCD, you know, put on the handbrake in the second half and just seen out the game. They could have scored a lot more. As you say, you couldn't fault the UU forward line hitting 3-10 on this day, but 7-8 completely blew them out of the water, and UCD completely deserving winning the match.
Brendan Devaney, thank you for joining us here at the Jordanstown Sports Village. Not a good night for the hosts. They're out of the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup, beaten well in this game by UCD. The final score, UCD 7-8, Ulster University 3-10. A performance for the ages by David Garland of Monaghan. Dara Craig of Roscommon wasn't bad either, and there are numerous others we could mention. Some of Liam Smith's deliveries were absolutely exquisite. I'm sure that Coleman Goggins, a fellow Ballantyre St John's man watching in tonight, was delighted with his clubmate. UCD march on. Ulster University go out. If you want to keep an eye on what's happening in Abbottstown between UCC and Queen's University, where they're into extra time, then go to the Scorpio app And obviously keep an eye on the Electric Ireland and HEC Higher Education GA social media channels for more post-match, both for this game and that game. We're back tomorrow night with hurling action. TUS Midwest taking on UL. We're looking forward to that Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup encounter. Jamesy O'Connor and I will talk you through it. For now, from the Jordanstown Sports Village, it is good night and good luck.
Doesn't clog up the opposition defence too much.
Paul Falloon, by the way, is our referee. And it's a goal. Well, it was a real scramble. UU trying to get the movement going a bit quicker. That's a boomer of an effort. And an excellent score. Great stuff for him to beat, but Ulster University don't give up on it. That's a delicious pass to McGill. And McGill puts it over. Very good.
That might have cost him in the last couple of games at times, but right now it's reaping dividends in this match.
Here's Conor Cush. Great finish. Collected by Rutledge of Mayo. Rutledge, has he done enough to hook that one over? He has. Great score, Smith. Craig's in on goal again. What a finish from Dara Craig. He's second of the night.
A brilliant save to his right hand side.
That's another fine pass. A great pivot. A great finish. That's Moriarty. Here in Kennedy, the captain. He's found his man. Have they found a third goal? No, they haven't, because of a very good save by Lynch. Gathering it there. Does that have the legs? It's fumbled in again. I'm not sure if it was Lynch who'll be credited with the... O'Keane goes wide. Liam Smith. That's a great ball. And it's a fantastic finish. Canavan hunted down there. And in the end they get a point. They needed to get something from that attack. Brian Cox is down injured. It has opened up a bit of space for Ryan Jones. Jones! That's an exquisite finish. The only place he could... Turnover high up the pitch. They're in behind again. And it's in again from David Garland. He's second of the...
By a contest already.
Garland. Advantage being played. Garland might need it. He doesn't. Garland again. Tonight, unless they can come up with the miracle. Here's Garland. Goals, points, he can do it all. But you have to keep in mind, University of Galway kind of rallied late in the game that they won. They do try and chip away at the lead through Largo Ellis. And he has got a good score.
Those three are pulling back at least one sweeper.
Falls kindly for Rutledge. Up against Lynch. Rutledge smashes it home. They found a bit of time and space through McCrickard. He was going for goal, no doubt about it. Went for McIllarney. A really good score by McIllarney. Watching this, and Corey. Garland getting away from McColgan. Garland, he couldn't go for another goal, could he? He could, but he doesn't. He goes for his second point. Who has come on for him? I think it might actually be Fiacre Clifford from Kerry. An Electric Ireland minor championship winner a couple of years. Glass and Doherty. Can they work a goal here? No. Great save by Gary O'Rourke. Who's already scored from a penalty in this game. Good save by O'Rourke. Comes back to Cush, who pushed it home. Probably too little.